Ambassador Kethvar of the Galactic Confederation adjusted his ceremonial robes as the sleek diplomatic vessel descended through Earth's atmosphere. After 300 years of careful observation, the Confederation had finally deemed humanity ready for first contact. The primitives had achieved basic spaceflight, developed rudimentary energy weapons, and most importantly, had seemingly moved past their violent tendencies. Their recent decades showed promising signs of cooperation and peace. "Such a beautiful world," murmured his aide, Zeflos, gazing at the blue marble below. "The reconnaissance reports indicate they've even dismantled most of their nuclear arsenals. A peaceful species, finally ready to join the galactic community." Kethvar nodded approvingly. The Confederation prided itself on civilized conduct. War was an antiquated concept, solved generations ago through diplomatic protocols and economic sanctions. Violence was the mark of a primitive species, something the galaxy had evolved beyond. The landing site had been carefully chosen. The headquarters of the United Nations in New York, where Earth's various factions gathered to discuss matters peacefully. It was perfect symbolism for welcoming a species that had learned to resolve conflicts through words rather than warfare. As their ship touched down on the designated platform, Kethvar could see thousands of humans gathering. They appeared nervous, but curious, their primitive recording devices capturing every moment. Security forces maintained respectful distances, no weapons visible, just as the preliminary cultural assessments had predicted. Dr. Sarah Chen, Earth's lead xenobiologist and appointed first contact representative, approached with a delegation of scientists and diplomats. Her smile was genuine, her body language open and welcoming. Everything was proceeding exactly as the Confederation's protocols dictated. "Welcome to Earth," Dr. Chen said in carefully practiced galactic standard. "We are honored by your presence and eager to learn from your wisdom." Kethvar felt a surge of satisfaction. This would be another smooth integration into the Confederation, another primitive species elevated to civilization. "We come in peace," he replied, extending the traditional greeting gesture. "Your world shows great promise for—" His words were cut short by a thunderous roar overhead. Kethvar's aide immediately activated their ship's defensive scanners, expecting an attack. Instead, the readings showed something impossible. Aircraft moving at speeds that defied the humans' supposed technological limitations, performing maneuvers that should have liquefied any organic pilot. "Those are our Air Force demonstration teams," Dr. Chen explained calmly, noticing their alarm. "We thought you might appreciate seeing some of our flight capabilities." But Kethvar wasn't watching the aircraft anymore. His scanners had detected something far more disturbing. Vast underground complexes beneath their feet, extending for kilometers in every direction. The energy signatures were unlike anything in their databases, not the clean fusion reactors or solar collectors they'd observed from orbit, but something older, more ominous. "Dr. Chen," Kethvar said slowly, "our sensors are detecting unusual energy signatures beneath this location. Might I ask what lies below?" Her expression didn't change, but something flickered in her eyes. "Oh, those are just old storage facilities. Nothing of interest to a spacefaring civilization like yours." Zeflos leaned close to whisper in Kethvar's ear. "Ambassador, the deep scans are revealing weapons, thousands of them, but the designs, they're not in any of our databases. The energy outputs are." He paused, his voice dropping to horrified whisper. "They're theoretical maximums, planet killers." Kethvar felt his 3 hearts skip beats simultaneously. "Surely there's been some mistake. Your species has moved beyond such primitive concepts as weapons of mass destruction. Dr. Chen's smile never wavered. Have we? The revelation hit like a physical blow. The peaceful facade, the dismantled nuclear arsenals, the diplomatic gatherings, all of it was theater. The humans hadn't evolved beyond violence. They'd simply hidden it so thoroughly that even the Confederation's advanced surveillance had been fooled. You see, Dr. Chen continued conversationally, when we detected your ships observing us 23 years ago, we realized we had two choices: actually become peaceful or appear peaceful while preparing for every possible scenario. We chose option 2. Around them, the security forces were moving with a precision that spoke of military training far beyond what any peaceful species should possess. The journalists were revealing equipment that looked suspiciously like advanced targeting systems. The weapons below us, Dr. Chen gestured casually downward, represent technologies your Confederation has never encountered. Quantum warheads that can punch holes in space-time itself. Antimatter cascades that turn entire star systems into energy. Weaponized black holes that we've learned to aim and fire like bullets. Kethavar's translator struggled with the concepts being described. Such weapons were beyond theoretical. They were impossible. Yet the energy readings confirmed their existence. But why? Zephylos whispered. Why build such monstrous things? Dr. Chen's expression finally shifted, becoming something ancient and predatory. Because we're human. We've spent our entire evolutionary history killing things that were bigger, stronger, and more dangerous than us. We turned stick and stones into spears and axes. We turned chemistry into explosives. We turned physics into nuclear weapons. And when we learned we weren't alone in the universe, we turned mathematics itself into death. The ambassador realized, with growing horror, that they'd made a catastrophic miscalculation. They'd assumed that technological advancement naturally led to peaceful enlightenment. They'd never considered a species that could develop godlike power while retaining primordial instincts. "What do you want from us?" Kethavar asked, his voice barely steady. "Nothing violent," Dr. Chen assured him, her smile returning. "We really do want to join your Confederation. We want to trade, to learn, to explore the galaxy together. But we want to do it as equals, not as primitives being elevated by our betters." She gestured to the weapons readings still scrolling across their displays. "These installations exist on every continent, in every ocean, even in our asteroid belt and lunar colonies. They're automated, self-repairing, and connected to monitoring systems that watch every ship in this system. We built them not because we wanted to use them, but because we wanted to ensure we'd never have to." The truth was crystallizing in Kethavar's mind. Humanity hadn't become peaceful. They'd become something far more dangerous. They'd achieved a level of military capability that made violence unnecessary because the mere threat of it was absolute. "Your Confederation has never encountered a species like us," Dr. Chen concluded. "You found worlds that chose peace through wisdom, worlds that chose peace through exhaustion, and worlds that chose peace through fear of others. But you've never found a world that chose peace through the absolute certainty that they could end any threat to that peace." As their ship prepared for departure with hastily signed preliminary agreements, Kethavar reflected on the day's revelations. First contact had indeed been peaceful, but only because humanity had made any alternative unthinkable. In the depths, below, ancient weapons hummed quietly, their existence serving as the foundation upon which a new kind of peace would be built across the stars. The galaxy was about to learn that sometimes the most peaceful species were simply the most comprehensively prepared for war.